Hello viewers! Engines don't usually die suddenly. Most of the time they're slowly destroyed by everyday habits that feel totally normal to the driver. I see the same mistakes over and over, and they are responsible for thousands of dollars in engine damage that was completely avoidable. So today I'm breaking down 5 things that will absolutely destroy your engine if you keep doing them. And more importantly, how to fix each one starting today. The first engine killer is hammering the throttle when the engine is still cold. When you start your car, the oil hasn't fully circulated yet. Even modern oils need time to warm up and flow properly. Cold oil is thick, and that means critical components like bearings, camshafts and piston rings are not fully protected yet. In addition, the engine's components are made from various materials which expand at different rates while warming up. This alone stresses them more than when the engine is at its operating temperature. When you rev high or accelerate hard right from the start while the engine is still cold, you're forcing metal parts to move fast before they are properly lubricated. Over time, this causes accelerated wear, scuffing on cylinder walls and bearing damage, especially on turbocharged engines that spin up immediately. To correctly warm up your engine, you don't need to idle for 10 minutes. That's a myth. Instead, start the vehicle, wait about 10 to 20 seconds, and then drive gently. Keep RPM slow, say below 3000 RPM, and press the throttle light until the engine reaches normal operating temperature. That single habit alone can dramatically extend engine life. In fact, we have a separate video on cold starts where this whole subject is explained in detail. Number 2 is shutting the engine off immediately after hard driving. And this is especially deadly for turbocharged cars. Turbos get extremely hot. When you shut off the engine right away, oil flow stops instantly, but the turbo is still cooking. That trapped heat literally bakes the oil into the turbo bearings, cokes up, which then obstructs oil flow and causes poor lubrication. And even if your car doesn't have a turbo, shutting it down right after a hard drive means you cut off the coolant flow through the engine, which then takes more time to cool down. In fact, its temperature will go up slightly for the first couple of minutes, and that's not ideal for seals and gaskets. These things take a heavy toll on the engine, but they are really easily avoidable. Don't shut down the car immediately after hard driving, towing, or boost heavy acceleration. Instead, let it idle for 30 seconds to a minute. That will allow oil and coolant to carry excess heat away, preventing oil breakdown and heat buildups. For turbocharged cars especially, this habit alone can double turbo lifespan. The next one is the thing that kills engines faster than anything else: overheating. Engines are designed to operate in a very specific temperature range, and for that, the cooling system needs to be in top shape. When there is a leak that causes massive coolant loss, a coolant pump failure, or the fans stop working, temperature skyrockets. Just one severe overheat can warp a cylinder head, blow a head gasket, or crack the engine block. And the scary part, some damage doesn't show up until months later. Overheating rarely happens all of a sudden. It's often a result of long-term negligence, which affects the engine's ability to control its temperature. For instance, if you have a minor coolant leak and have to top it off every couple of weeks, don't ignore this problem. There's probably a small crack somewhere, hose or radiator, that might tear up and expand at any given moment, causing severe coolant loss, which will inevitably lead to overheating. It's much the same if your car tends to run hot under load, such as when going uphill or towing a trailer. This could mean the coolant pump is worn and can't circulate enough coolant, or that the radiator is clogged, which reduces its ability to remove heat from the coolant. If your temperature gauge moves above normal, pull over. Check for leaks and fix them immediately. Don't top it off and keep driving as if nothing happened. Cooling system maintenance is not optional if you want your engine to survive. Coming in at number 4 is stretching oil changes too far, or using the wrong oil altogether. The thing is, oil does much more than just lubricate. It cools, cleans, and protects against corrosion. When oil breaks down, it turns into sludge, which doesn't protect your engine nearly as well as it should and also clogs oil passages. One of the main problems here is potentially too long service intervals in modern cars. Many manufacturers say you can do 20,000 miles or even more between the oil changes. This might even pass muster for those drivers who do a couple of 100 miles on a highway every day. But if you drive mostly in the city and frequently have short trips, it's better to do oil changes more frequently, once a year regardless of mileage. What's also crucial here is oil viscosity and specification, especially on modern engines with variable valve timing or turbos. Using the wrong oil causes increased wear and oil pressure issues. You can find out what kind of oil your engine needs in the owner's manual. For instance, in this car I have a choice of several weights, but regardless of which one I choose, it has to meet this specification, which effectively means its chemical composition suits the engine. Lastly, the 5th engine killer is using low-quality fuel, especially in modern engines with direct injection. Unlike older engines, which had relatively simple and robust injectors on their intake manifolds, direct injection sprays fuel directly into the cylinder, and the ejectors used here work under higher pressure and are far more sensitive. If you use the cheapest gas you can find, it often contains microscopic dirt and has fewer detergents, which eventually causes heavy carbon buildup on the injector's nozzle. This offsets its spray pattern, leading to misfires, loss of power, poor fuel economy, and eventually internal engine damage. As a result, you'll spend all the money you've saved by filling up with cheap gas and some more to fix the clogged fuel injectors. To avoid this, use top-tier fuel whenever possible. Check the owner's manual. If your engine requires premium, use it. Periodic intake cleaning on direct injection engines can also prevent serious long-term issues. So there you have it, viewers. Engines don't die by accident. They fail because of habits. Drive gently when cold, let it cool down, never ignore overheating, use the right oil and high-quality fuel. Do these 5 things and your engine will reward you with years, sometimes decades of reliable service. If this saved you from an expensive repair, hit like, subscribe, and comment which one surprised you the most. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!